It's the 6 o'clock hour here in West Tennessee. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
I'm Nick.
And we are Back to the Lodge.
Why a podcast?
Well, the truth of the matter was we had no intention of ever doing a podcast. We started off messing around in a radio station, doing an evening show on Wednesdays, which was a result of a TV series that wasn't able to be filmed due to coronavirus in the U.S. So, a friend of mine, Justin Sherlitic, who I've known through veteran business community, and he reached out and said, why don't you do a podcast? And I said, I don't want to do a damn podcast. But, time went on, and next thing we know, people want to listen to us talk. I don't know why, but, one thing led to another, and here we are. Well, Back to the Lodge was the result of the TV series being postponed due to COVID. And when you're showing the values of the outdoorsman and how that correlates with veterans and country music, when you're out in the field, whether you're hunting or fishing or, camping, where do people talk when they go back to the lodge, So it just made sense. Well, Back to the Lodge is a way to step away from how media has turned the outdoors. And what I mean by that is that the media today, as you and I know, whether it's outdoor television, radio, focuses on the hunt or the catch or the adventure. But a lot of the memories take place when you're not in that tree stand, when you're not holding that rod, but the conversations and the bonds that you build with those around you that share those same values. And there's a major healing aspect to being outdoors. So in my world, what I like to share with everyone is how the veteran space and the country music space, not necessarily just country music, but in the music arts and how that correlates to the outdoors and Gold Star parents who lost a son or daughter in combat, or our everyday heroes that have experienced traumas in their life. The outdoors has been proven to be very healing, and this is a vehicle to help inspire them and guide them into finding their way outdoors and trying their hand at a dying group of people, demographic. So Nick on a Stick, which is our favorite prop, by the way, when we're on the road. Matt and I travel all over the country. I think yesterday, even with COVID, we realized we traveled 8,000 miles on the road together this season. And, Nick works a full-time job outside of Back to the Lodge. And Nick can't always go on those trips. But because we rag on each other, and look, we like to have fun. Justin, who suggested we start our podcast, he's a great graphic guy. He can make any graphic arts. And we called him one day and said, hey man, can you Photoshop Nick's face on some 80s kind of photos, glamorous photos? He's like, yeah, I can do that. So he sent it to us on a trip to South Texas. And we stopped at a Walmart and had it printed out. And we put it on a stick. So when we shot our shots, so Nick didn't feel bad. He was with us in spirit and on a stake. Man, the funniest moment on the show so far, I think is when we were trying to do the giveaway for the grill apron. And, I kind of had, Matt's got this sense of humor, and I had this expectation he was going to do something funny or goofy. But nobody really wanted to win it because it wasn't like a super cool apron. I mean, it had like beer holsters and stuff. But Matt says, if nobody wins it, he wants it. He's going to put it on. Well, I didn't know he was going to actually strip down naked and put the apron on the set. So we were live on Facebook. Thank goodness he didn't do it on camera because we probably would have been shut down. But he came back and he sat across from, he sits to my right on the set. And Nick and I turn and look at him. And he had the apron and his cowboy boots on. And his boots go up and he props them up on the desk, and we saw more than we ever wanted to see. Not that it was a lot to see, but it was more than I wanted to see. Man, the saddest moment on the show. There's been a few. If I had to narrow it down to one, and I can't narrow it to one without giving justice to all of those emotional moments. Charlie Strange on the show, talking about the loss of his son with SEAL Team 6 was pretty powerful. But another one that really stood out, and still to date, I think is our #1 most downloaded episode even today, was our 9/11 special that we did in 2020 with Captain Tim Brown from the FDNY, telling his story from inside of Tower 2 on 9/11. And, we've all lost people close to us, especially in the military. But he lost a lot of friends that day, a lot of brothers, and the heroic acts that they were doing when they found their bodies and recovered them. And he talked about the story of his brother that was cutting those people out of that elevator while they were burning alive. And the jet fuel was underneath the elevator shaft cooking them. And they found his buddy still there with the jaws of life at the elevator. Hearing that from him firsthand, and then correlating that on how the outdoors has helped with his mental health. That's what this is all about. People can find us on social media, Facebook at Back to the Lodge, and they can find us on Instagram. I don't know if they call that a hashtag or at Back to the Lodge. They can find us on our website, let me guess, backtothelodge.com. They can message us on there. There's a contact form on our website, and you're going to more than likely reach one of us directly, or actually now one of our assistants. So that's how they can find us. My advice is, if you want to get in the outdoors, it's like anything in life. Don't make excuses. Learn as much as you can. Approach people that can help guide you if you don't have anybody in your family or your close circle to get you outdoors. And just try. Be patient. It's very rewarding. The reward isn't just in the hunt or the kill or the catch. The reward is in the time. Time is a resource you don't get back, ever. That time in nature is a lot of self-reflection. The time recovering, if you're fortunate enough to get a harvest, and recovering that harvest, it's a lifetime memory. And even more so, if you are successful, sticking with it and getting somebody else that wasn't as fortunate out in the outdoors.